Big exciting news is that I'm really imminent to you today. I'm really close. We're so close. We're close to finalizing something. I don't know what we're going to finalize, but we're really close. I was so close to saying that I was close that I went to the casino. I was sitting at the casino bar, and guess who came in and sat really close next to me? Sir Lloyd, can you move over? I'm like, dude, you're a little too close, but this is a video about being close. Oh, what's going on? I'm like, well, Nancy Pelosi says the deal's imminent. Imminent. Imminent, imminent, yeah, yeah, that word. I love his music, Slim Shady. I love his music. No, not the rapper. Imminent and close. Oh, how close is Nancy Pelosi? She's really close, Like haven't you heard? What have I heard? She's always close. What does that mean? Well, she's always close, but she never finishes. She's close to getting $12 ice cream, and then when she shows up, she's like, maybe not. I sort of feel like that's what's going on with our second service bell. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is a continuation of Afternoons LA with big developments on Purple, our new show on the Afternoons lineup, with details about hazard pay, Purple people, Purple Guy, me, and of course EIDL, and those wonderful grants that are out there that you could be getting despite the craziness of these people in Washington. What a great day it is. And what's really great about it is we're cutting through the crap, and we're together as a family. We're realizing what we are going to get excited about and what we're going to be like, really, honey, I'm just not doing that anymore with you. Go to the Funnest channel, subscribe. Subscribe because, we really understand the purposes of words. And so if we hear the word imminent one more time from Nancy Pelosi, we're going to be like, there's the door. Just show yourself to the door. Also, like this video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over why some of the people who asked for stimulus before you apparently now don't really need it. I can't believe it. Second, I'll be going over the ability to get you grants despite what's going on with these crazy people in Washington. Third, I'll be going over timelines and when you could be seeing relief of stimulus with all these variations that are going on today. And fourth, I will be dealing with the permutations of what you just should expect between now, after Election Day, and after Inauguration Day. All right, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as you sit here today is that seems to be a lot of fake narratives coming from Nancy Pelosi. She told you there was going to be a deadline of Tuesday. Then on Tuesday, she said there was no deadline. Then yesterday, she said the deal would be hatched within 48 hours. Now she says maybe it will be done in a few days. Then yesterday and all this week, she and Mark Meadows said they're finalizing the language of the bill. Now she says it's almost time to write the bill. It's just like, really, it's just... So at this point, guess what? We're really not going to believe anything that comes from the Temple of Doom unless it's said by someone else. And some of these things were said by Mark Meadows, like the fact that they were writing the language, but apparently they're not doing much of anything. The important thing to understand as we sit here today is why executive orders by stimulus checks are needed now because of this timeline. What you have is this time between now and the election, and then you have the election to inauguration, and then you have after inauguration to the future. Let me explain why it's so important to understand why these timelines are at issue. First, you have a bunch of people who are in Congress now who are open. Their door is open. Mitch has not locked the door yet in the Senate again. The door is open, and you have a president in place, and you have a president behind the polls, and you have enough weeks to get a bill passed as law. It only takes 3 days for the bill to become law. Well, all these people involved, Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin, are acting like it takes 16 months to write a bill. No. It does not. I mean, look at Mitch McConnell. He goes home on a weekend and writes the stupid bill every week and introduces it. So it does not take weeks to write a bill. The question is then, why are these people not putting any agreement to bill and get it passed before the election? Ultimately, what's really at issue is that neither of these people want to have a law. They don't care about you. They don't want to have a law. The president doesn't want to have a law because he doesn't want to help Joe Biden if Joe Biden wins. And Joe Biden doesn't want to have a law because he doesn't want to help Trump if Trump wins. It's as simple as that. So what happens the night after election night? Do they then go and do a deal and make it a law and we get a check? Really problematic. I don't know the answer. I'm not going to say no, but I simply don't know the answer. What if you don't have a deal by the end of the period of December, which is just like incredulous. I just can't even say it right. But I have to forewarn you. Then when would the stimulus relief come? It would not come into your hands until upwards of March. I'm not the only one saying this. All broadcast news is saying this. And then ultimately, that is a possibility. And so that's why executive orders and pushing the purple power is really needed, because what's going on is a lot of people who are doing much of nothing. And then there's this. In this recording, I'm going to go over where these people are that are jumping in front of you and trying to jump around you. A new report from Southwest Airlines said that they did relatively decent compared to the impact of the pandemic, and that they were among the airlines that wanted $28 billion of bailout to be given to them before you in a standalone bill. They didn't get it. They were getting a lot of fake promises by Nancy Pelosi. They didn't get it, and they wanted to jump ahead of your stimulus check with the airline, with who came later, the hospitality group, the hotels. They want to jump ahead of you. Everyone to get a stimulus check ahead of you. Well, apparently they're still operating. But Southwest, in a new statement today, CEO Gary Kelly says he thinks that business travel may still not be good for a while. Southwest reported its largest quarterly loss of 1.2 billion on Thursday. It had operating revenue of 1.8 billion, a decline of 68%, but it burned $16 million in cash during that period of time. Ultimately, I know what all viewers always say every time I read something from an airline. They're like, I don't care about the airlines. I really don't care about the airlines. How can I afford an airline ticket? I can't afford my stimulus check. And so what I'm focused on is for you to be focused on the paths to get money. First, you understand the paths to do it by executive order. Push, push, push for a second stimulus check by executive order. Push for an FPUC by executive order, or refunding LWA. That's needed more than ever, because today the new economic numbers that came out about jobless claims showed that a lot of people may be jumping from unemployment to PUA because they've ran out of unemployment assistance, which is horrible. It's horrible. People need relief, and this is just shocking. As to your stimulus check, the government has the money. It has the fortunes to send out your stimulus check. So why do we have to sit here and hear about $1,500 checks from 7 months ago? Also, you have a VP running mate. You have a VP running mate who a lot of people like. She wrote the bill. She wrote the bill that said $2,000 every month for 6 months until the pandemic goes away, or unemployment improves. At minimum, 6 months of $2,000 per person. It's an incredible bill. It's how much you're owed, and it's been 6 months, and it will be 6 more months until she and Joe Biden are sworn in if they win. Well, guess what? Since the date at which she wrote the bill and appeared all across broadcast news with Bernie Sanders at the same time, both respected senators, guess how many times she has mentioned this bill since she was chosen as VP running mate? Why? Why is Senator Harris not talking about stimulus? Why is Joe Biden not talking about stimulus? Why is no one talking numbers when we talk about stimulus? It seems as though it's a broken record, but I seem to be the only one talking about the numbers of your stimulus relief. How much for the check? How much for FPUC? What day is it retroactive for? None of these people want to be accountable for their numbers. And so as we sit here today, what we are being accounted for is how much stimulus relief you can get and how much grants. All right, at the 9-minute mark, stay with me because I have a lot of details coming up on those grants starting right now. There's a couple of grants out there, and there's a couple of loans out there, and there's a couple of grants coming and a couple of loans coming that you should go get. First, let's go over what is out there. The first thing to understand, and I haven't gone over in a couple of days, so I want to go over it right now, is that there's $150 billion of unused grant money that is sitting in cities and counties that they're going to have to use or lose a portion of 150, not the whole 150, but a portion of 150 that they have to use or lose in the next couple of weeks. What is this? This is CARES Act 1 money from the first stimulus package in March that was sent to the states to then send to the cities and counties. They have to use this money or they lose it. And so what cities and counties are now doing is they're sending out the money as grants to certain parts of their community. Sometimes it's a stimulus check. Sometimes it's hazard pay. Sometimes it's rent. Sometimes it's food. Sometimes it's another type of grant assistance. What you need to do is go on Google News and look for grant plus your city. And if you want to put in plus CARES Act, you can with a C, or county plus grant plus your city, and look for it. They're being announced every single day. It may not be there today. It may be there tomorrow. Next, we have Purple Power delegates who are helping you. I had a really nice person said, I want to volunteer, said send me a DM overnight. Again, these are people who I do not supervise. These are people who are volunteering to help find these announcements in news articles online and Google News for you if you're not sophisticated enough with a computer. You go on Twitter and look for the hashtag P, and then the two letters of your state. For example, California, hashtag PCA, space, hashtag LALATE. Use both hashtags when you post and both hashtags while you're searching, because ultimately if you search for hashtag PGA, it's just not going to get what you're looking for. You need to do hashtag PGA and space LALATE, and worst case scenario with that is you'll get LALATE golf stories. That's how it works. The spirit of this community is helping people, and boy, more than I've ever seen in recent days, everyone is really stepping up. Everyone is really stepping up. It's as though the worse that Congress gets, the better this community gets. And that's what I truly adore. I try to empower you to find stuff. Whether it was my senior citizen from South Florida who had looked for a grant after I told her, found it, told her girlfriends, they all applied. They sent me a message, said, thank you, we got our application in within 24 hours after we heard your message. The deadline just hit. Then weeks later came back and said, we got the grant. All of us got a rent grant. It'll pay rent for 3 months and we really needed it. Or Kevin Lee out of Texas. His family needed a grant for rent. They were being evicted. They weren't getting their EIDL loan or grant, and they got it in and got the money. Now, let's turn to the other things that are there and then the other things that are coming. First, EIDL loans. Please, please, please go and get an EIDL loan if you qualify. You qualify if you're an independent contractor or solo practitioner. You don't have to have a business with 20 employees. It could just be yourself. Example are Uber, Lyft drivers, Grubhub, Postmates, truck driver, delivery driver, private security guard, any of those things. All you have to have done is have a Schedule C on your 2019 tax return. If you did not file your tax return, please do it, and please make sure there's a Schedule C, because that's the way it's supposed to be done. Someone sent me a really nice message in the last hour, said, I think it was a Postmates driver or an Uber Eats driver. He says, how do I apply for the EIDL loan? What do I need from Uber Eats? You don't need anything from Uber Eats. Let me make that clear. I've never really covered that in all my thousands of videos. All you need to do is show that you worked as an independent contractor and you had income and you declared it on your taxes. You don't have to have a 1099 from Grubhub. You don't have to have a 1099 for Uber Eats. All you have to do is show that you have a Schedule C, let's say with $5,000 gross revenue, and you can go get that EIDL loan. Next, people will say, I don't want a loan, I want free money. You want a loan. You want a loan because ultimately the loan is not repayable in the first year. Principal and interest do not need to be repaid in the first year. And look, we're in October. You know this pandemic is going to be gone by October of next year, so you won't have to repay anything before then. This is categorically incredible great news. Next, what's coming in the pipeline? In the new bill from Mnuchin and Pelosi, there is EIDL grant money. Grant, that's free money, more EIDL loan money, more PPP money, an EIDL grant, a CDC grant that's paid to frontline workers. That's coming. You can't apply for it yet. Those CDC grants are very hazard pay-ish. There's no hazard pay in the bill, but the bill is not law yet. Let me go with some incredible comments from yesterday. Sam, we need $2,000 for 6 months right now. Sophie, LA, tell us how politicians are now involved. Don Castle, they take too many vacations. Faye, how many times the poor American have to deal with this? Trevor, man, they can't get anything done. Susan, the president runs with the model that he wants to make America great again. Why isn't he helping America get great now? Beatrice, I'm sorry, I don't trust politicians. Shannon, the sense of urgency should have been the economic stress of the people, not this election. I love that. Great comment, Shannon Ash. Hey, Kate, how about feeling other people get involved? Tonga, why doesn't Trump sign the executive order? Brandy, have you ever seen the show 48 Hours where nothing good comes out at the end? Okay, Diana, do you think they're just stringing us along? Yes. Renee, people are worried about the big guys. 69 Tiger Lily, I believe it when I see it. Donald, ring around the rosy, I'm glad it's not Pelosi. My God. Mark, if we can't get a deal, then we should be giving foreign aid. Then we shouldn't be giving foreign aid to any country. Brian, they've been saying that for months. Lori, I highly doubt it. Nancy Pelosi says this every day. Anna, I don't know what's going on. God bless you always. You're a true angel on earth. You're not only educated, but you uplift those who feel downtrodden and helpless. You're very intelligent, kind, and caring, and the help you give to everyone every day is more valuable than you could possibly imagine. Well, I really appreciate that. That's really nice. Anna Snygard. Beautiful, beautiful last name. I know someone with a similar last name. So hope you're good and safe. Go to the front of the channel, subscribe. Coming up next is Pelosi versus Mnuchin, and first McConnell versus Trump. That's a big one. Also, like this video. Coming up, that big bombshell of what McConnell may be doing with Trump. You've never heard it before on this channel. You need to tune in for that. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and save LA for more.